Riding season's almost over here in southeastern PA, and I failed to do one very important thing for you guys this year. Alright everybody, what is up? What is up? As always, thanks for stopping by to another video today. We are out here over in central New Jersey, roaming around on the Street Bob today. It's about late October. You can see some of the leaves are starting to change. The weather's getting a little cooler and crisper. Riding season is slowly coming to a little bit of an end here in southeastern Pennsylvania, which is a little bit sad. I'll try to ride as much as I can throughout winter if the temperatures allow, but honestly, if it gets too cold some of those days, I mean, I'm just not doing it. But now that the 2025 riding season, for me anyways, has started to really slow down, started to get closer to an end here, I've started to reflect and look back on a lot of the really good riding that I did this year. And the reason that I'm saying that I failed you guys is because I have failed to record or capture a majority of really awesome riding that I did this year. This is a year that I did pretty much some of the most riding that I've ever done. And a lot of these trips, I didn't even end up recording anything, and that's always been one of my plans and aspirations, is to kind of document some of the trips, a lot of the motorcycle activities, different rides, different things like that. And I went on so many different trips this year and just didn't record a single thing. And I failed to do that. I failed to share a lot of those experiences and capture some of that stuff, not only for you guys, but I like to look back on it for myself a lot of the time too, just to kind of relive some of those moments and things like that. But that's what I wanted to do for you guys today, is relive some of that, share with you some of those trips and travels that I did this year. I did capture a lot of stuff on my phone, just not on the GoPro. So what I wanted to do is run through a lot of those awesome trips that I did this year, give you guys some insight into what I did, how I traveled with the bike, where I was, all the stuff that I did. Some of them I did record, which I'll let you know. I've got videos back in the library of videos if you guys want to take a look at those. Like I said, it's always my goal to kind of document some of that stuff and share it with you guys, but sometimes I just get out there, I start riding, I don't feel like messing with the camera stuff, I don't feel like stopping and going at different stuff with the cameras, mixing around with all that stuff, and sometimes it just doesn't happen. But like I said, I captured a lot of it with my cell phone. As I go through these trips, I'll pop up some of the video and pictures and images from a lot of these cool trips that I did. Let me know some of the best trips you guys did out there. Drop it down in the comments, and of course let me know, and if you guys went through any of these places I did, also let me know what you think of some of those. So to kick things off, this is a trip that I do actually multiple times a year. I probably did this one at least 3 or 4 times this year. If you guys know, you've probably heard me mention I've got some family up near Erie, PA, so I do that trip back and forth a couple times a year from Philadelphia up to Erie, PA. You pretty much cross the whole state of Pennsylvania. I usually don't record anything on that. It's a lot of highway, not much to see there, nothing too exciting, but it ends up being around 800 miles round trip, so I'll do a little riding when I get there too. A lot of times when I do that, I'll end up putting about 1,000 miles on the bike by the time I get back to Philadelphia. So like I said, I did that maybe 4 times this year, so that was a really big bulk of the miles I put on the bike this year. Now, one time when I did do that, I stopped in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. That's kind of in the north central part of Pennsylvania. Went up to the PA Grand Canyon. We'll throw some pictures and video of that up here on the screen. That was a pretty cool trip across Route 6. So I kind of went across the northern part of the state there to kind of get back to Erie, PA. So that was pretty cool to check out the Pennsylvania Grand Canyon. And then in June, one of the really big important trips I did to get kind of the summer kicked off was a trip to Shenandoah National Park. Of course, hit Skyline Drive. That was really kind of a bucket lister for me. That one I had been wanting to do for a while. It's not that far from Philadelphia. I did that one in about 2 days. So I went across from Philly to Gettysburg, then down south into Harper's Ferry. Stayed the night in Harper's Ferry, cool little mountain town in West Virginia. Woke up the next day, went down into Shenandoah National Park, Skyline Drive, hit that for a little bit, turned around, came back, and got back up to Philly the next day by about 8 o'clock at night. So that was really only like a day and a half, 2-day, or if I was going to do Shenandoah again, I would probably do that a little bit longer. I was kind of like in a rush to get back the next day and kind of cut some of my stay short there. But still a good time. Another one that I did shortly after that, really enjoyed this, was kind of a day trip to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. So Gettysburg, PA, really only about 3 hours west of Philly, easy to get to, really cool to roam around there. Again, we'll throw some video and pictures up of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Very beautiful riding out there in south central Pennsylvania. I know I got some people checking in from Gettysburg. Drop it down in the comments if you have ever ridden through Gettysburg to check out a lot of the cool history. Like I said, a lot of cool back roads. So much stuff to check out there. A lot of good riding down there. You could stretch that one into a multiple day trip too if you wanted to, but I blasted that one out in just one day because it was close enough I could get back to Philly in a day if I wanted to. So I think that one really only ended up being probably around maybe 300 miles round trip in that day trip to Gettysburg. Next up, a really cool fun one that I did, probably my biggest one of the year, was basically a tour of all of the New England states. So this was about a 2.5 day trip. It ended up being a little over 1,000 miles in about 2.5 days. So started that one by going north out of Philly up to Lake George, New York. Beautiful place, loved it there. I'll definitely be going back. Again, I'll throw some pictures and video of some of these places up. So by the time I got there, I'm like, well, you know, I'm near Vermont. Let's cut across Vermont. Then I got the idea to go to New Hampshire. Then I got the idea to go to the beach in Maine. And I was like, I'm just going to hit all this in one trip. So got up to Lake George, cut across, went through Killington, Vermont. Really beautiful riding and stuff there. Probably one of my favorite rides of the year, which is cutting across Vermont. Loved all the Green Mountains. Actually wish I would have stopped and taken more pictures there. But after Vermont, cut down into New Hampshire. I think I went through like Manchester, Concord, New Hampshire. Then got all the way to the ocean in Maine. I think this was York Beach, Maine. Again, throw some pictures up there. Really beautiful, lovely scenes and footage up there in some of these videos and pictures that you'll see. I stopped for a lobster roll at the beach in Maine. The weather was absolutely perfect. This was early August, so it was a little bit hot, but the weather was absolutely perfect the whole time. So this was still in the same day. After the beach in Maine, I started to head south, went down through Boston, got into Massachusetts, ended up in Bristol, Connecticut. That is where I stayed the second night. So then woke up the next day, went down to Newport, Rhode Island. Again, beautiful, lovely scenes there, cliffs along the water, cool little towns and stuff there in Newport. That was really fun and cool to see. Cross that one off the bucket list. Then from Newport, Rhode Island, went down into New Haven, Connecticut. I had to try some of their famous pizza there. Got a recommendation to go to Modern Pizza, whatever it's called. Parked the bike on the side of the road, got some pizza there. Again, we'll throw some videos, pictures of that up. Ate some pizza on the side of the road because I started to get a little bit crunched for time because we had some rain coming and I was trying to get back. After New Haven, Connecticut, then just blasted down through New York to the Garden State Parkway through Jersey, back into Philly and Pennsylvania. Again, that was a really amazing trip. Packed in a ton of stuff into really 2 days, 2.5 days, and a little over 1,000 miles. Really crammed in a lot of stuff. Actually, I probably would have liked to have been able to relax and spend a little bit more time in some of these places, but I was just chugging along, cruising along, trying to see as much stuff as I could in about 2.5 days. That is one that I really wish I would have recorded and made a video out of that one, but I hope you guys enjoy seeing some of the pictures and videos of some of the stops along the way. Then shortly after that, did a road trip down to Ocean City, Maryland. Now, this wasn't necessarily the farthest trip ever, obviously. It's only like 150, 200 miles south of Philadelphia, but always good and cool to go check out some cool places down there. That was another one that was maybe 2.5 days, not quite 3. Went down there on a Tuesday, I believe it was, went through some of the back roads of Delaware, ended up in Ocean City, hung out on the beach there, did some riding up through Maryland and Delaware to South Bethany, Rehoboth, went to the Rehoboth boardwalks, things like that, some breweries there in Rehoboth. Oh, that's really pretty. Again, should have filmed that and made a video out of it because it was really cool. On the way back, went through some of the back roads near Dover, Delaware. Really cool stuff I'd never seen before. It gets very rural out there, kind of by the Dover Air Force Base. So that was really cool to see and ride on some of those back roads. It actually reminded me of some of this, like just farmland, middle of nowhere type stuff going on. But that trip to Ocean City, I believe, ended up maybe being like 450 miles round trip on that one. Really the most enjoyable part, again, going through a lot of those cool back roads by the Dover Air Force Base. I would highly recommend getting down there to some of those roads if you ever can on your way through some of your travels through like Delaware, Maryland, up through to get to Philly and Jersey and things like that. Now, some of the trips that I did record, I recently did a trip to the Finger Lakes up in New York. That was awesome. There is a video, full video of that one back in my library of videos. I would recommend going back to take a look at that one. That one was really cool. That one ended up also being just about 1,000 miles in 2.5 days. So you guys can go check out that one. We saw some stuff like Cooperstown, New York, Finger Lakes, everything like that. Won't run through that one. Full pictures and videos, and that one is back in my library. Another cool one that I also did film was going up through Honesdale, Pennsylvania. We've got that one in the library as well. Checked out the original site of Woodstock, Hawks Nest. Again, that one's back there also. That was almost about 500 miles in one day. That was a really good one as well. So those were a lot of the big major trips that I took. There was a lot of other day trips in there, other things that I didn't film, which lead us to the current day of me being out here in what appears to be the middle of nowhere, New Jersey right now, but a lot of cool scenes and scenery out here. We went by some of those lakes, a lot of woods with the leaves changing colors and everything. So that's just a quick little recap of some of the bigger type rides that I did this year that I unfortunately failed to record or make videos out of. Kind of wish I would have, but hope you guys enjoyed seeing a quick recap of some of those sights and sounds of places that I was this year. Again, the rides, the days are starting to get shorter and colder as we approach October, November here in southeastern PA. Just wanted to provide that little recap for you guys, show you guys some of the video and pictures from my phone that I took of some of these trips. A lot of it probably doesn't do it justice, but just showed you guys where I was throughout the year. Like I mentioned, let me know if you guys had any awesome trips that you want to share down in the comments. Let me know if you went through any of the same places I did throughout the year. But that's going to go ahead and wrap this one up for now. As always, ride safe out there, guys. Make it a good one. It's the Moto John. We'll see you all on down the road. Peace.